Hey, what's up? How is everyone doing today? And welcome back to another build tutorial. Where today, I'm going to show you how to build your own office skyscraper in Minecraft. The perfect building to fit all of the different companies in that need some office space. Each office features lots of desks to work from, a meeting room, and a staff break room as well. And as always, before I start this tutorial, I'd really appreciate a little smash on the like button, as it does help, and I'd highly appreciate that. But let's not waste any more time, and let's start building. Here are all the materials that you will need for this build. And the plot of land you will need for the whole area is 28 by 24 blocks. And then for the skyscraper building itself, that is 18 by 18 blocks. And all those little grey gaps that I've marked out as well, those are all 4 blocks in length. First up here, I am going to grab myself some light grey concrete to begin with. And then just starting from this point here, I'm just going to replace the entire white border with all of the concrete. So just replacing it all here. And that'll leave you with something that looks like this. And then sticking with the concrete, I'm just going to replace all of the grass area inside with all of it here. And that will leave you with a nice large grey floor like this. And next up, I'm now going to grab myself some smooth stone. And just where this light grey wall border is, I'm just going to replace all of that with this smooth stone here. So that will leave you with something that looks like this. And then if I just go to the top left area just over here, just from this point, I'm just going to place grey concrete going all the way down, just until one block is sticking out just here. And then I'm going to bring this all the way across. Just until one block is sticking out, just at this point here. And then I'm just going to continue it along the right hand side here, just until I reach the back, like so. And the next, starting from this point here, I'm going to count across 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just below that 8th block, I'm going to place one bit of smooth stone, bringing that down, and then extending that across by another 3 rows to the right there, which will leave you with something that looks like this. Next up, I'm just going to grab myself some grass, and just where any of this grey wall is, I'm just going to replace that with the grass here. And these grass areas that I've marked out, they're just going to be some extra outdoor gardens which are going to surround the skyscraper itself, just to make it look that little bit nicer. So I'm going to grab myself now some bone meal. Starting from the top left corner here, I'm just going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bone meal on the left. I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bone meal on the right as well. So with all the extra grass placed, that is all of the foundations done for the skyscraper. So now we can actually move on to building the skyscraper itself. So for the skyscraper, I am firstly going to grab myself some grey concrete to begin with. Then if I just go to the front left corner just here, I'm just going to place one bit of grey concrete there, followed by one on the right and one on the top to give us a little corner shape there. I'm just going to do this for each corner. So just adding a little L shape in each corner like so. So that should give you something that looks like this. And then I'm just going to extend each of these points up so they're 5 blocks high in total. So if I show you with this one, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, and 4. As you see, that's 5 blocks high. So just going to do that with all the other points here. That'll leave you with something that looks like this. And then sticking with this grey concrete, if I just go down to this point here, I'm just going to count across 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to place some grey concrete. And then from this point, I'm going to count across another 1, 2, 3, 4. Place another bit of grey concrete there. I'm just going to build each of these points up, just like so. So I'm just going to repeat this for all of these other sides here. So counting across 4, and then building a pillar of 5 going up. So the pillars should basically have a gap of 4 in between each of them. So that'll leave you with something that looks like this. So for the skyscraper entrance, I've got myself some black stained glass panes here and also a deep slate tile wall. So for the entrance, first I'm just going to place some black glass on the left and the right there. I'm going to add a wall on the top of each one there, and then I'm going to add another 3 glass just on top of each wall. So that'll give us some nice large doors here. And for all these other gaps, I'm just going to fill all of them up with these black stained glass panes here. So just filling each gap with all of it here, like so. So by the end, all of the windows should be filled up like this. Next up, I'm now going to grab myself some more light grey concrete. And from this point, I'm just going to place some concrete there. I'm just going to follow the wall going all the way around. Just placing a whole layer of concrete. Just like so. Just following the wall around here. Just until we reach where we started. That'll leave you with something that looks like this. And I'm just going to fill all of this area in with the concrete here. Next up, I'm now going to go and grab myself some white concrete here. And then I'm just going to place white concrete going all the way around this roof that we just built. So it should be sticking out by 1 block. So just placing all that white concrete going around until I end up back where I started here. So that'll leave you with something that looks like this. And the next, I'm going to leave a gap of 4. And then I'm going to place another bit of white concrete there. So there should be a gap of 4 here. And then white concrete there. And then I'm just going to follow the exact same shape we did below here. So placing all of this white concrete going around. Just mirroring what we did. That will leave you with a floating square shape, like so. So I'm just going to repeat this top shape another 8 more times. So I'm just going to mark it out first. So I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Destroy the 4 blocks. So that's 1 marker. And then counting up another 5. Destroying the 4 blocks in between. We've got 2 there. And then again, placing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up. Destroying the 4. So just placing each of these points, leaving a gap of 4 in between. So we've got 1, 2, 3 there. I'm just going to keep doing this process just until I've got 8 points in total. So we've got 4 there. 5. 6. 7. And then finally 8, just like so. That'll give us 8 points, which all should have a gap of 4 blocks in between. And then for each of these 8 points, I'm just going to repeat this square shape that we did here. So using these points as a starting point and just making the square shape for each level. That's the first point, and then doing the same for all of the others. By the end, you should end up with something that looks like this. So next up, sticking with this white concrete, starting on this bottom level here. Just from this point, I'm going to place white concrete going up. I'm just going to extend it by another 2 pillars of 4 on that side and also on the other side here. Get something like that. So I'm just going to do this in each corner. So placing a pillar like that and then extending it by 2 blocks in each direction. Just like so. And that'll leave you with some thickened edges, just like so here. And then from the front here, I'm just going to leave a gap or two, and then I'm going to place 4 white concrete, then I'm going to leave a gap or two, and then placing another 4 like so. And then I'm just going to build these points up, going all the way to the top. So as you see, that will leave you with 3 rectangular windows like that. And then I'm just going to do the exact same thing for these other 3 sides here. So just going to the right hand side here, I'm going to leave a gap or 2, place 4 white concrete, leave a gap or 2, place 4 white concrete, just like so. And then building these 2 points up all the way to the top. So that'll leave you with something that looks like this. So next up, what you got to do, you just got to repeat this process for every other level. So we've already done it on the 2nd level here, and then you want to do it on the 4th level, the 6th level, the 8th level, and finally the 10th level right at the top. So feel free to rewatch this part of the tutorial, just so you can complete every other level. So if you have repeated this process on every other level, you should end up with something that looks like this. So you should have 5 levels fully furnished with all of the different gaps for the windows there. So next up, if we go to the 3rd level, which is this gap at the bottom here. Firstly, with the white concrete, just above where this window is, I'm just going to place 2 there and an extra block on each side. And then I'm just going to repeat this process above every gap around the wall here. So just placing 4 white concrete above each gap like so. So as you see, I'm just doing this going all the way around. So that will leave you with something that looks like this. And the next, I'm just going to build each point going all the way up to the top here. So extending each point by another 3 blocks in height here. So just doing that going all the way around. So that'll leave you with something that looks like this. And as you see, by doing that, that'll start to create the pattern that I'm going for this skyscraper. So similar to what we did before, I'm just going to repeat this process on the 5th floor, the 7th floor, and the 9th floor. So again, feel free to rewatch that part of the tutorial to finish these other sections. So if you've done this process correctly, you should end up with a finished wall pattern just like this. And the next, sticking with the white concrete, if I was to go to the top of the building here, I'm just going to extend this top bit by another block going all the way around. So that will just make the top bit of the building just that little bit thicker, just there. And the next up, going back to the black stained glass panes, I'm just going to fill each little gap here up with all of the glass. So filling all the gaps up with all of this glass here. By the end, as you see, all of the windows should be filled with glass here, which will basically complete the main wall for our skyscraper. And the next, just moving to the top here, I'm just going to add the top roof. So for that, got some light grey concrete here. And from this point, I'm just going to go down 1 block, place the concrete there, and I'm just going to fill this whole level up with all of this concrete, which will form the top bit of the roof. So that'll leave you with a nice flat roof like so here. So next up, I'm going to add some air vents on top of this skyscraper here. So for that, you're going to need to grab yourself some stone, some rails, and also some stone brick walls here. So Firstly, just going to the back left corner just over here. From that point, I'm just going to count down diagonally 1. I'm just going to place some stone there. I'm just going to make that into a 2x2 square like so. Then leaving a gap, I'm going to repeat that. And then leaving a gap, I'm going to repeat these 2 squares again. Leaving a gap, repeating these 2 squares another time. And then leaving another 1 block gap, this time going downwards. And then going to place 2 stone squares. Then leaving another gap, and then placing a final 2 stone squares like so there. And then just on top of these stone squares, I've got some rails here. I'm just going to place 4 rails on top. Just like so. And as you see, they look like little fans here. And then for some vent tubes to connect these fans together, I've got some stone brick walls here. And firstly, starting at the top, I'm going to place 2 walls in between just like that. Followed by 1 here. Followed by another 1 in each gap going along like that. Followed by 1 on the left, 1 on the right. And then just doing that once more. So that'll give us some nice air vents for the top of the building. So with the vents placed, that is all of the exterior done for the skyscraper. So now we can move on to decorating all of the interior here. So first up, let's add some nice plants to the ground floor here. So for that, I'm going to grab myself a cauldron. Firstly, on the left hand side, I'm just going to place 4 plants going along just like that. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the right hand side as well. Just placing all the cauldrons like so. And the next, I'm going to grab myself some oak leaves. And then I'm just going to put 3 leaves on top of each cauldron. Just like so here. As you see, that'll give us some nice plants for the ground floor here. So next up, I'm now going to show you how to create a reception desk for this office building. So firstly, I'm just going to grab myself some white concrete to begin with. And then just starting from this point over here, so next to the second cauldron, I'm just going to count across 1, 2, 3 blocks. I'm just going to place 1 bit of white concrete just there. And then going to place another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks going along like that. So that should give you a row of 8 in total. And the next, going to the left, I'm going to leave a gap, and then I'm going to place another 2 white concrete. And then I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Just like so. And the next, I'm then going to grab myself some grey concrete. And from this point, I'm going to place 1 bit of grey concrete there. I'm just going to build that across until I meet with the end just there. And then I'm just going to build this up by 1 more row going up. And the next up, I'm then going to grab myself some iron trapdoors. I'm just going to place 1 trapdoor on each end like so. And then I'm also going to grab myself a lever. I'm just going to place that next to each trapdoor. Just like so. And as you see, that way people can get in and out. And the next up, I'm then going to grab myself some grey carpet. I'm just going to put 2 carpet on each side to begin with. Followed by 2 at the front on the left, 2 at the front on the right, and then 2 in the middle with 1 gap on each side. And the next, I'm then going to grab myself a stone pressure plate. I'm just going to put 1 in between each of those gaps. And then with an iron trapdoor, I'm just going to place 1 behind each stone pressure plate. And I'll grab a lever, put them below each trapdoor, and then flick them to flip those trapdoors up. And the next, I'm going to grab myself a painting. Any painting will do. And then I'm just going to place 1 in front of each trapdoor, like so there. Next up, I'm then going to grab myself a deep slate tile slab here. I'm just going to place 1 in front of each laptop. Then I'm going to grab myself an iron door. I'm going to place 1 behind each slab. And then I'm going to grab myself a white banner. I'm just going to place it in front of each iron trapdoor there, which will give us some nice chairs. And then finally, for some shelving at the back, I am going to grab myself some white carpet. I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 carpet going along like that. And I'm just going to extend that by another 2 rows, just like so. Which will complete the reception desk. And while we're at it, let's light this place up as it is looking a little bit dark. So for that, I'm just going to grab myself some lanterns. And then with these, if I just go to this second pillar on the left here, from this point, I'm going to count across 1, 2, 3 blocks. I'm going to place a lantern, and then I'm going to leave a gap of 2, place a lantern, gap of 2, place a lantern, gap of 2, and then finally place another lantern like so there. Then I'm going to do the same thing, but from this third pillar here. So from this point, counting across 1, 2, 3 blocks, placing the lantern, leaving a gap of 2, place a lantern, gap of 2, place a lantern, gap of 2, then place a lantern, just like so there. And as you see, that will lighten up the ground floor so we can see where we're going. Next up, moving on to the back, let's start the elevator shaft. So first thing we're going to do is destroy this window here. Let's just get rid of all that glass. And I'm just going to place grey concrete just in the middle here, like so. And the next, from this point here, I'm going to destroy that and another 3 blocks next to it, so destroying a row of 4. And I'm just going to destroy another 2 rows of 4, like so, to give us a little opening in the ceiling just there. And the next, with the grey concrete, from this point, I'm going to place 1, 2, 3 going out. And then I'm going to leave a gap of 2 and then place another 3, just like so. And then I'm just going to extend each point up by 5 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like so. I'm doing the same thing on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, just there. And you see these 4 blocks of light grey concrete. I'm just going to destroy them and replace that with some grey concrete like so. And the next, going back to the light grey concrete, and then just going to place 2 going inwards like so there. And then if we just go back down here, for the elevator next, I'm just going to destroy these 4 blocks just there. And I'm just going to grab myself now some polished andesite. Just going to place 4 just at the bottom there. And then for the elevator door, I'm then going to grab myself a polished tough wall. And I'm just going to place 5 going up like so for a nice little elevator door. And then finally, I'm going to grab myself some birch signs. And just on this block on the left, I'm just going to put lift to offices. And I'm just going to put the same sign on the other side as well. So that will complete the main structure for the elevator shaft. So now we can move on to creating all of the different offices upstairs. So first up, I'm just going to grab myself some grey concrete here. And then if I just go to the front left corner just over here, I'm just going to, from this point, going to go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. On the 8th block, I'm just going to place 1 bit of grey concrete, just like so there. So there should be a gap of 8 just there. And then from that point, I'm just going to place another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks going along. Then I'm going to leave a gap of 2. Then I'm going to place another 8 blocks going across in total, just like that. So there should be a gap of 2 right in the middle there. And then I'm just going to place 1 bit of grey concrete going out on each side. And then I'm going to leave a gap of 2 here, place another bit of grey concrete, gap of 2 on the other side, place another bit of grey concrete like so. And then I'm just going to extend these points going all the way to the back of the wall here. And then I'm also going to extend this grey bit up by another layer as well. And then just from this point here, I'm going to place another 3 blocks going along. And then I'm going to place another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks going down. As you see, by doing this, that'll complete the main wall layout for all of the offices. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to extend this whole wall layout going all the way up to the top there. So you're just extending it layer by layer. Just until I reach the top there. So I'm just going to keep building it up. So by the end, you should end up with something that looks like this. So as you see, the whole wall layout has been extended up, going all the way to the ceiling there. Next up, I'm going to grab myself some more light grey concrete. And then if I just go to where the elevator shaft is, I'm just going to leave a gap of 4 blocks and place another 2 light grey concrete. I'm just going to repeat this going all the way to the top there. So leaving a gap of 4 and then placing 2 light grey concrete. So what we're doing here, we're just marking out where each level is going to go. Which should take you all the way to the top here. So next up, where I have marked each level like so, I'm just going to use that as a starting point to fill all of the floor in for each level. So if I show you for this first level, obviously we've got to leave this bit empty because that's the elevator shaft. But then just from this point, I'm just going to fill the rest of the floor in for this level here. So if we just start by doing it room by room. So starting with this first room, let's just get this all filled up. And then let's go into this other room here. Just like so. And then finally, let's fill in this larger room. Just there. So by the end, you should end up with this whole first level filled in like so here. So just be clear, all the areas should be filled in apart from the elevator shaft just there. So I'm just going to repeat this process another 7 times, working from each of these points that we marked out. So by doing that, that'll give us all of the floors for all of the different offices. By the end, you should have reached the top level, like so here. And as you see, by doing that, all the floors are now complete. So now it's time to start decorating all of these offices. Now, the way this is going to work is, I'm just going to show you how to decorate one floor, because all the other floors are the same. So I'm just going to show you how to do this one floor, and then all you got to do is repeat it for all of the other floors that we filled in. First up, let me show you how to decorate the meeting room area. So first up, for a door, I'm just going to grab myself a black stained glass pane. I'm just going to place 4 on the left hand side. And then if we go in the room here, next up, I'm then going to grab myself a smooth quartz slab. And then firstly, just from this point here, I'm going to count across 1, 2 blocks. Then I'm going to place 1 slab there. Then I'm going to leave a gap, place a slab, leave a gap, and then place another slab. Then I'm going to leave a gap of 2, and then place another 3 slabs on the other side. And the next, I'm then going to grab myself an iron door, and I'm just going to place an iron door behind each slab, like so there. That'll give us the chairs for the little meeting room here. And then I'm also going to grab myself a grey banner. I'm just going to place a banner in front of each iron door, just like so. And then for the table, I'm going to grab myself some white stained glass panes. I'm just going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 just in the middle like that. And then for the tabletop, I'm going to grab myself some grey carpet. I'm just going to place that on top of the glass, just like so, for a nice little modern table design just there. And then for a large TV, I'm just going to grab myself some black wool. And from this point, I'm just going to place 4 going along, and also another 4 above like that. And then I'm going to grab myself a chain. I'm just going to place 1 chain on each end, like so there. And then to light this room up, I'm going to grab myself some lanterns. And then just from this point here, I'm going to look up, place a lantern there, and then place another one next to it, like so. And that will complete the meeting room area. And the next is light up this little corridor as well. So I've got 2 more lanterns here. Just going to place 2 like so. And next up, let's decorate the break room, which is going to be over here. So I'm going to grab myself some more black stained glass panes. I'm going to place some on the right hand side just there for another door. Now if you go over here, I'm going to first show you how to make a little kitchen area. So if I grab myself some pistons, just going to place 3 just there, followed by another 3 going in the other direction to give us a fridge. Then I'm going to grab myself a quartz block. I'm just going to place 1 there, leaving a gap of 2, placing another one. And then I'm also going to grab myself a cauldron. I'm going to place that there. And then next to it, for a little oven, I'm going to grab a smoker. Let's put 1 there. And then I'm going to add a trapdoor on top for a little hob design. And then I'm also going to grab myself a water bucket. Let's just place that in the cauldron. And for a little extractor fan for the oven, I am going to grab myself a quartz stair. Just place that above like that. And then for some cabinets, I'm going to grab myself some light grey shulker boxes. I'm just going to put 3 there, like so. That will give us the kitchen area. And then for some seating, I'm just going to grab myself some polished deep slate stairs. I'm just going to make some mini sofas here. So starting from this point, placing 3 in an N shape like that to give us a sofa. Then I'm going to leave a gap, place another 3, leave a gap, place another 3, leave a gap, place another 3, like so. And then with some lanterns, I'm going to add some more lighting. So just where this extractor fan is, from this point, placing a lantern there and another one next to it. That'll give us a little break area. And next up, I'm going to add a toilet here. So for that, firstly, I'm just going to grab myself a white stained glass pane. I'm just going to put 1 glass there, leave a gap, placing another 2. And for the door handle, just going to grab myself a diorite wall and put that there. And then just light up the toilet. So just on those 2 blocks, placing 2 more lanterns like so. And then firstly for a sink, let's add a cauldron with some more water in. And for a tap, I'm going to grab myself a tripwire hook. Let's place 1 there. Oh, and let's also add a tap in front of that cauldron in the kitchen as well. And then next, I'm going to grab myself a hopper. Place that next to the sink, because that's going to be the toilet. And then if we add a door just on top there. And then I'm also going to grab myself a lever. Let's just put that above so you can open and close the toilet there. And then for a little towel, I'm going to grab myself a white banner. I'm just going to put 1 just there. That'll complete the toilet area. So next up, moving on to the main office area here where all of the desks are going to be. First up, I've got some cauldrons here. I'm just going to place 1 on each side of the entrance just there. And then I'm going to grab myself some spruce leaves. I'm just going to put 2 above each cauldron, just for some nice plants, like so. And the next, I'm going to grab myself some smooth quartz stairs and some smooth quartz slabs. And firstly, just from this point, I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3 blocks. On that block, I'm going to place 1 upside down stair, just like so. Then another one next to it. And then on the left, I'm going to leave a gap of 3 and then place another 2 upside down stairs. Then doing the same thing on the right. So a gap of 3, placing 2 upside down stairs. And the next, with some smooth quartz slabs, I'm going to place 3 rows of 2, just going along like that. So just extending each point like so. And then on the end, finishing each table off with 2 upside down stairs on the end. Oh, I just broke the window. Let's quickly fix that. But yeah, just doing that for each table here. That'll give us 3 nice tables just there. Next up, for some chairs, I'm going to grab myself a smooth stone slab. And firstly, starting with this table here, I'm going to place 1 on the left and then 2 just on the right here. I'm just going to repeat that for these other tables here. Just like so. Next up, I'm then going to grab myself some iron doors. I'm just going to place one door behind each slab, like so here. Just like that. And to finish these chairs off, I'm going to grab myself some white banners. I'm just going to place a banner in front of each door. Sometimes you might need to shift when placing them. I think that might apply to those in Bedrock Edition. But yeah, so just placing the banner in front of the iron doors like that, which will give us our chairs here. Next up, I'm going to grab myself a black stone pressure plate. I'm just going to place one in front of each chair like so, as these are going to be the bases for all of the laptops here. And the next, I'm going to grab myself a birch sign, and I'm also going to grab myself a painting. I'm going to choose this meditative painting there, so I think that would be a nice one to use. So I'm just going to place a sign behind each pressure plate, just like so. So I'm just going to do that for each desk here. And with the painting, I'm just going to shift and then place one in front of each sign, which will give us our laptops here. Just like so. And then finally, to finish up, I'm just going to add 2 lanterns above each middle bit of each table here. Just like so. Which will complete the main office area. So with all the tables put in, that is the whole office all decorated. And the final thing I need to do is, I'm just going to grab myself a polished tough wall. And I'm just going to place 4 just on the left hand side there for the elevator. And before I decorate all the other floors, I'm just going to quickly grab myself some ladders. And firstly, I'm going to place one on the left and one on the right at the bottom of the elevator there. And I'm just going to, starting from the left, just going to place ladders going all the way up to the top. Just like so. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. As you see, by adding all these ladders, the elevator can look like it's working. Just like so. So with the elevator done and all of this floor decorated, I'm just going to replicate the decorations on this floor on all of the other floors in this skyscraper here. So just repeating all of this decoration another 8 times. So feel free to rewatch this part of the tutorial to fill all of the other floors in. So once you've completed that, all the floors should be filled in like so here, which will complete our office skyscraper. Now what I love about this design is that it's quite easy to extend higher if you want. You just got to repeat this pattern that I showed you earlier going all the way up. And same goes for the layout of the floor and of the decoration. So I hope you did enjoy this tutorial, and I hope you are pleased with the final result. And as always, I'd highly appreciate a little smash on that like button, as it does help me out, and I'd highly appreciate that. But yeah, so until next time, thanks for watching, and have a good day.